was feeling a little under the weather. So, all right, photo share and discussion number 71, the special Sunday edition. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Rui from Lisbon, and Raj from what I want to say. What city I had in my mind? What's the exact city?
New Delhi.
New Delhi. All right, there we go. Another 15 zone photo share and discussion. Thank you very much, guys, for popping in, and hopefully we'll get maybe Tim from London, maybe Joe from Phoenix, and maybe Frank from California. It just depends whether. Although they had that little earthquake there. They had that earthquake in Napa early today. But he's in the Bay Area, so he probably didn't even feel it. But they had a little bit of they had like a 6 or 6.1 earthquake just southwest of Napa, California, early this morning.
6.1 is dangerous.
Yeah, it is, but it was a relatively small fault.
Oh.
So, hey, there we go. We'll get an on-the-spot report from Frank. Frank is in the Bay Area. So did you wake up at 3:30 this morning, Frank?
I did.
From the earthquake?
Unexpectedly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was about 3:15, and things started moving in a north-south direction.
Mm.
It lasted for about 15 seconds or so.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah.
It was a decent sized earthquake. Fortunately, not in the middle of something big. It was in a relatively small fault, right? So.
Yeah. It was in Napa, so yeah, there were a few wineries that are actually destroyed.
Mm.
There are some buildings that were knocked off their foundations. There was also a trailer park in that area where a gas main broke in one of the trailer parks.
Oh, okay.
One of the trailers, which caused the fire to spread to 3 additional trailers.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they got the gas shut off and everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah. The problem there is once the fire started, fire engines took about 10 minutes to get there, and they realized that the water main had broken.
Oh, so they had no water.
So then they had to wait an additional time to have a tanker to show up to supply water to put the fire out.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 4 or 5 families there that none of them got hurt, but they lost absolutely 100% of everything they have.
Yeah.
Complete.
That's
which is sad.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, fortunately, I guess from the standpoint of bigger damage, it wasn't in a more populated area. There's a lot of people there, but it's not densely populated, so that helped.
No.
Yeah. So, all right. A little rock
But
and roll.
for us,
going
a
on.
6-pointer for us is not. I mean, it's big, but it's not huge.
Yeah. Well, they hadn't had anything in Napa like
is,
that in a long
considered.
time. What was that, Raj?
6 Richters is considered like beginning of what you call destruction. That's where destruction happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
The Richter scale 6 is like the dangerous point, beginning of the dangerous point. Anything below that is like mild. 6 is like that's where the damage starts.
Yeah.
Like serious damage starts.
It's kind of like the threshold for structural damage and that type of thing to take place.
Right.
It can break buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they found out in Napa that yes, some buildings did break. But
Yep.
they really haven't had too much up there in Napa, no, really, as far as earthquakes. It was a little bit of a surprise for them, I guess. But hey, Wes, welcome from welcome from Florida.
Hey, Wes.
Nice and cool and
Wes.
comfortable. Low humidity there, I'm sure, right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
90-90. Did you have a 90-90 day? 90 degrees and 90% humidity?
Yeah, it was like more like 99, 90,
Ooh, yeah.
or 99, 100, I guess you could say, because it's been raining this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just hot and humid. All right, well, welcome. Got quite a crew here, and I appreciate everybody popping in on a Sunday. A little bit of a change, but it works. So cool. We have a fair amount of images. You guys posted some fair amount of images to the group. I managed to get a couple in, and Rui posted. Oh, yeah, there he is. There's Rui on live on camera. Wes posted a few. You posted a few, Raj, and Frank. No, but I'm sure you'll give some good comments. So we're good. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen share here and see what we got. Maybe there it is. Screen 1, screen 2, and hopefully everybody sees this one. I think this is the first new one that was posted by Raj, and
the trees.
some a little bit of processing going on here. Photoshop. Are you doing some masks or anything with this one?
This one, hang on. Right. This one is, yeah, I think this was processed completely on Lightroom.
Okay.
And what I was trying to do is I was trying to recover the sky because it was almost white. The sky was like almost white, and I wanted to recover the sky, the details in sky back. So this was totally done in Lightroom. I find Lightroom a lot more comfortable for graduated filters and using that brushes and then decreasing exposure in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
So for that work, I find Lightroom to be a lot more comfortable. And anyways, I've been using Lightroom for much longer, so I find it. So this one was totally done in Lightroom, not.
Okay.
Then I did, do some like final finish because I export it in TIFF, and then TIFF gets converted into a web image and all. So that thing happened in Photoshop, but mainly processing entire processing happened in Lightroom only.
Okay. So the sky was blown out. So did you go in and adjust the? Did you use a brush to kind of paint in some of the color up here?
Mainly, yes. Yeah. First, I started trying with the graduated filters, and the problem with graduated filters was that the leaves, they were giving like they were getting a weird color, and because they were also getting underexposed, because I was trying to underexpose the sky, and in order to achieve that, I was also underexposing leaves, and you can still see some leaves are looking weird, right? The corner ones, they're looking much darker than the rest of the tree, and that's because obviously I did not do that good of a job even with the brush, but it was way more visible with the graduated filter. So I switched to brush, and brush did a relatively better job.
Okay, yeah, you were able to get a little close and delineate more between the trees and the sky, whereas the graduated filter just pretty much goes top to bottom or left to right, right? Yeah.
Also, the details of branches which are visible, they were not visible, so I had to take like a very small brush and overexpose the branch parts.
Oh.
So I overexposed the branch parts just to make them visible.
Okay. All right. A little bit of work. But yeah, you ended up with a decent amount of blue in the sky then, given the fact that it was probably all white, like you said before you started. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you remove the sky, the picture is really boring and meaningless, and there's nothing to the picture, and there's nothing interesting. The only bit of small interest that comes in the picture is the sky. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That was just enough to. Yeah, and you got a nice contrast there between the green and the blue, and yeah.
Right. Did you guys notice one thing? I don't. Now you can zoom in in Flickr. Did you guys notice that? Now we are allowed to zoom in. I was able to zoom into the image somehow. I don't know how, but we were able to zoom in.
Let's see.
No, that's better.
Widescreen. No, that doesn't work.
Anyways, I'll just figure it out and let you know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I know they've been playing around with their interface quite a bit. I mean, they keep changing things up, so. It's and you upload. What size do you upload?
Okay, I'm able to do it here. I don't know why it is not showing there. In my Flickr, I'm able to zoom into images.
Okay, so how do you do that? Do you click on the image and then
Yeah, the moment I click on the image, I see the magnifying glass icon instead of the my cursor turns into a magnifying glass icon. Should I share the image like screen?
Yeah, you can do that. If you can do screen share, that'll work.
Okay, how do I do that?
That's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not getting that.
Technologically handicapped. Hang on. Yeah.
It was a browser plugin or something.
Yeah, it might
Is that
be.
so?
Mhm. It might be a plugin. You know,
Okay, the screen.
I'm not getting anything to go on my end, but that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you should scroll over to the left side of your screen.
Yeah,
Rod,
can you
know.
see that?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
What do I
okay.
do?
All right. There it is. Yeah, there's your screen share now.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So
Yeah, you are able to zoom. Okay. Yeah, I do. I see what you mean about the color of the leaves on the edges, right around where it meets up with the sky on the top left and top right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really tough to get rid of, I think. It would be really
If it was a paid book, I could, but
yeah.
but why bother?
Talking about
I mean, I was
browser
just
plugins. Sorry.
Please
talking
go
about browser plugins, did you know have you seen the Pix.io? It's a plugin for Google Drive, I guess.
Oh, no.
Install RAW files. You can see RAW files in the browser now.
Okay, that's
So you can
interesting.
upload. So Google will show will show raw files. Then.
Yeah, you can upload for Google Drive, but you can actually see the picture. With that, you can see and edit, get some editing stuff.
Oh wow! Okay.
And, yeah.
What's it called? Peak.io.
Peak.io. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. It'd be very. Well, I haven't done. I shoot exclusively in RAW, and I just do everything in Lightroom. But I haven't. I haven't tried to upload something and view it through Google. Here's another terrible portrait of Joe.
Old lady.
Yeah. It's a
poor old lady.
a very, very nice portrait. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
She looks stunning in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does everything in Lightroom. He's got some very specific Lightroom techniques and processing that he uses, and he gets a very good result. I mean, he shoots with a 40D, so he's got but he converts it to black and white, and does a very good job in Lightroom. So yeah, Joe is does
I really like the
well.
separation from the background. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it is just the lighting is nice. You can see a little bit of hair, but the background is just 100% dark black. Yeah, and very nice.
If you put it full screen, it's even better.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, and it said it was shot on August 18th. I'll have to ask him about that because he's just recently moved to Phoenix, so I don't know if he's. I know he was doing some work ahead of time trying to connect up with some models in the Phoenix area, so maybe this is one of those. But he's living in an extended stay apartment. He doesn't have a house or anything at this point. So maybe this is something that he'd done before he moved. But it's a very good shot, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Really like it.
I think the only thing that I would like to have seen different on that one is you got a lot of white in her eyes, and if she was to look just a little bit to camera left, you would see more of her pupil, because I think her left eye, camera right, is almost completely gone, hidden behind the eyelash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If she was looking a little more towards towards her shoulder instead of back down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a little.
Yeah.
bit.
Otherwise, yeah, it really is a lovely shot.
Yeah. He does a very good job with that. Very nice. Yeah, all in Lightroom too, which is impressive. There we go, Raj. This is you, right? Yeah. Sunset on a looks like a little a dam on a lake or whatever.
Yeah,
Very nice.
very old dam. Yeah,
Okay.
from colonial times, like centuries old,
Okay.
something. And very old dam, and some kids playing. Two girls were like doing something, and I just took a shot. And because it's monsoon, the sky is never clear, so
Okay.
sun is not sharp because it was behind this clouds.
Okay.
But yeah, it turned out I just increased this contrast a little and increased the black levels in these. This is 100% Lightroom as well.
Okay.
And I had made one composition in Photoshop, which somehow I managed to lose or delete. I'm not sure what I did, but I couldn't find it on time. So
Okay. All right. No, this is very nice. You did by increasing the black a little bit. You just got more separation between particularly between the sky and the tree line there.
yeah, and there was some blue as well, which I decreased. What you call saturation of blue completely zero. I turned it like totally down.
Okay.
So there was some blue in the background, which is just not visible now. It has turned into gray or something. Small dots, but they were looking very annoying. So
Okay.
I decreased saturation of blue to zero. So
Okay.
there's no blue in this picture.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's very nice. Only thing I would crop a little bit on this side. You got this. I don't know if this is a tree or something that's gonna. But if you cropped it like right there, then
Yeah.
it would draw a little more attention to the. I guess it's maybe a duck or something that's in the
Right.
water there. But yeah, that's a great shot. I mean, I love the difference in the super glass smooth water here, and then the ripples with this. Yeah, I mean that's a neat contrast of textures in the water.
Yeah.
The sun looks like it looks like just a big yellow orb. It's
Yes.
floated out from behind the clouds. Very nice. And then having the people down here in the corner adds some perspective as far as scale to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably and they were like in right position, almost at in thirds.
Yeah, they were. Good job.
Yeah.
Totally random probably, but worked out good. Yeah, I just crop a little bit on this side, and that's a nice sunset shot.
Yeah.
Very nice. Colors are great. Yeah,
Thank you.
very nice. Yeah. Here's my one color image of the week, taken at the local car show a couple months ago. Obviously, it's a Mercedes. And this is an old Mercedes. I think it's a mid 1930s model, the one that had the supercharger, and it was a Model 500 or something. It was kind of sitting off in the corner, and there were a ton of people around it. And so taking a shot of it, kind of back, looking at the whole car, it was impossible because there was just too many people cluttering it up. So I just found something that was unique about the car that I'd get some cool reflections on, and this is where I ended up.
It's very nice, very sharp.
Yeah, yep. I had to play around with it a little bit. The autofocus was getting fooled by the reflection back here, I think. So I didn't switch to manual focus, but I did finally get the autofocus to dial in right there. So it ended up being pretty good, and I didn't notice these reflections here when I took the shot. I saw this and then this back here, but when I got it in Lightroom, I noticed that. So I cropped it a little bit on this side, on the right side, so I can kind of square up and get those reflections in there. But
Any reason not to be dead center?
I think it was perspective. I was kind of off. There was somebody over here on this side, and I couldn't get the I couldn't get the camera squared up. So I think that's more the reason
Okay.
than anything. And I tried moving it over, and it didn't look as good as kind of having.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, because I do notice the part that it's not at dead center.
Yeah.
But if it does come in the center, then the line that's in the background, that will start disturbing the three-pointed star.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Now, right now, it's looking like one entity, and the background is blurred. But in that case, it will become a part of that three-pointed star, and it will.
This windshield bar would have ended up coming right down through here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the main reason was I just couldn't. I was about a step off to the side, and there was a guy right behind me over here, and there was 3 or 4 people over here and a couple over here, and so I just kind of spread my feet and I stood there because there were people walking back forth and here, and I waited till that cleared out before I took the shot. But the reflection.
Well, I like the part that you can see another car in the reflection of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. But the green bit that I don't know whether it's green or something that left to the, that's a little distracting.
Yeah, it is actually as you look at it.
Yeah.
I could probably clone that out.
Yeah.
And just kind of extend this green, this shadow or whatever over that.
The bokeh ball on the right as well.
Yeah, over here.
That and the other one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
What was your exposure and the lens?
This is with my 15 to 85, 55 millimeter, 200th of a second at f5.
Okay.
Which is about, I think, for that lens, that's as wide open as it's going to get at 55 millimeters. I think it starts off at 3.5, but that's from about 15 to, or from about 18 to up to about 24 millimeters, and it jumps up to 4, and then by the time you get to 55, it's at 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it stays at 5 all the way through till about 70 millimeters or 75. So, yeah.
I was just trying to think of a way to isolate the emblem from the background, and if you were to use maybe a longer lens with a larger aperture, then you wouldn't have been able to make out that there was a car or a green bench or whatever.
I could have got it completely blurred. Yeah, if I would have used maybe like maybe a 200 millimeter focal length or something.
Yeah.
F5 or F6 even, and I think that might have been fine.
I think as it is, it looks extremely professional. I mean, I could see this becoming a cover of some kind of magazine or something, because focus is right on the emblem.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very sharp.
Anything?
Yeah.
I need to, but I do see what you guys say about this little blur here and this green. I don't know what this is. This might actually be a reflection from inside the car.
Maybe inside, yeah.
Yeah, but I could probably get rid of that.
I think the upper portion is the mirror, rear view mirror, and the left bottom one, I think it's probably reflecting a building, or maybe there's some box thing inside the car. It could be either of these.
Yeah, he did have something inside the car, so that might be it. But yeah, this is the mirror here. This is the rear view mirror here.
I'm wondering if you had used a polarizer, what the effects would be, because you've got two different planes. You have the engine hood, and then you have the glass of the windshield at two totally different angles.
Interesting,
yeah. I think you've got polarizer.
I would definitely want to see that.
Yeah, that might ended up doing enough to cut out a lot of that.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have lost any of the reflection off the chrome, because that polarizers do absolutely nothing when it comes to metal.
Yeah, yep, that's true. That's a good tip. I will take my polarizer next time, especially when the sun's out.
What are these two red dots towards below the emblem in the grill area? What are these red dots? Do you see those red dots?
Yes, I do, and that is probably something I need to probably clone out. I wanted to get the curvature of the grill in there, and I couldn't crop it enough. If I cropped it anymore, then that would go away. So I will need to go in. This would be a good subject to go back in and play around a little bit in Photoshop and get that
Definitely.
going on and play around with that. So yeah, but yeah, I wanted the emblem. I got that in focus.
You might just want to select the glass part and increase decrease the exposure on the glass part, so everything will become like less visible.
Okay. Yep.
Just very simple thing.
Yeah.
Just select these parts and decrease the aperture and camera raw filter.
Okay, I will try that. Good. Looks like dinner.
Dessert.
Dessert. Okay.
Oh damn!
I couldn't tell if it was
Now I'm
like
hungry.
an enchilada or a dessert. To me, it looks like.
Chocolate cake with egg covering.
Oh.
Egg with sugar, I guess.
And is that some port or a beer in the background?
Yeah, port.
Port. Ah.
Officially hungry now.
Yeah. Time to get hungry. Yeah. And this was with the one.
51.8.
Yeah. Okay.
Nifty 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's.
My mom did that, and she wanted to show off, so I took that picture.
Okay.
I did some boosting of the contrast in Lightroom, and that was it.
Okay.
So
It's
got a good picture to post on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very.
yeah.
Yeah. And I love this in the back, and knowing where you're at and everything is like, yeah, it has to be port. It's almost always, and that's a perfect pairing with dessert. It is fantastic. Yeah, that's a very nice shot. It'd probably be better actually eating it, but I'm sure your mom makes
Exactly.
Yeah.
The torture.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m. in India. Okay, I'm not gonna get anything for another 6 hours. So this is a torture.
Well, let's go on to the next one then. There you go. You want to eat a bug? Or what is it? Yeah.
Those are ants, and that was with 102.8.
Oh, okay.
So, no, the 50 to 150.
Okay, 50 to
Sigma.
150.
The Sigma one.
Oh, okay.
2.8.
So you got the ants marching along the line, so you kind of focused at them in the middle. All right. Okay. Cool.
Just try something different.
Yeah.
Trying the macro aspect of that lens.
Mm-hmm. How far away were you from the ants at this point? I imagine probably 6-8 inches, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Something like that.
Sigma 50 to 150. Do you like that lens?
Yeah, very good. And then there's another shot with that lens, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, very very good lens, and to have that kind of zoom in the 2.8, very nice.
Yeah, and on the
and it performs well also.
yeah, I mean, so you got really about an 80 to a 250 almost in there as far as the effective zoom. Yeah. So
There's some really soothing colors, which is really attractive.
Yeah, the green, a little bit of orange in here. Yeah, it's meditation on ants. There we go. Very cool. I like this one. No stream side scene. Very colorful. She had a very colorful shirt on, really.
Yeah, I did some darkening to the background, just a little bit, all in Lightroom also.
Okay.
But yeah, I was experimenting on the kind of portrait to give her. She's a friend of mine.
Okay,
so she was posing. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? No.
Yeah. Hurry up!
Yeah.
No,
but I did a little darkening. The rest was the sun. The sun was like from the top left to the bottom right.
yeah, you can see it kind of come through the trees there, and it.
Yeah. And this was all in the shade. The sun was from the direction, just a little darkening to get
Yeah.
a little bit more pop.
Yeah. No, it's very nice. And what's really nice about it is just the colors in here. It's just great. I mean, she's got a nice smile on her face too.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a neat shot because you got the kind of the whole organic stream scene going on, and then she's wearing something that's enough of a color difference to really separate her from the rest of the image, which is kind of nice. Did you do any vignetting or anything up here?
No, that's natural.
Okay. That's very nice.
So the interesting part is that if you look at the left part of the image, you see a natural landscape kind of picture. And then you look at the right portion and you see a portrait, which is totally different. I mean, it's like two images inside the image.
Yeah,
Very...
that's a great description, Raj. That's exactly what you said. That it's exactly what I was. What hit me was like this is like photo of the stream, and then you got a portrait, and it's all in the same image. So it's a neat contrast.
And it's pretty close to what I think most people would consider to be an environmental portrait.
Okay. Yeah.
Although she's more of a tourist, but if she was, for example, wildlife fish and game officer in uniform, or a fly fisherman, or person rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if she had a
More in
backpack
context.
on, or a hiking, or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, more
that
in
would be
context of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Was it possible to maybe have moved her more into the third because she's really too close to the outer right?
No,
hand side?
because on the right side there was lots of branches. I was standing on the rock, close
okay.
to the middle of the river. So
So if you try to do that, you would have all these distractions in the
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Got
can
it.
see a little bit on the top right there.
Oh, these over here.
Yeah, those
And
are starting
you
to
might
pop in.
just,
So
yeah, you might just want to get rid of that. I think it's a steel rod that's going above her head, right above her head.
All
yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You could clone that out
that's
pretty easy,
that's,
probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
probably
from
the only
here to
part.
here. Yeah.
It's an amazing portrait, and if you like get it printed on a
that's
big
a tree branch, but
large-
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's very nice. Yeah, that would be one you should print out, like an 8x10 or something, and give to her. It's a
Yes.
nice shot. Very nice.
I'd want to crop off a little bit from the top and off the left, though. I mean, you've got a lot of negative space there. I think that the meat of this image is the rocks. Those rocks are awesome. Just have to
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the lighting on them is great. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, this section here,
Yeah.
you could go like right.
It just
there.
makes it more intimate. I mean, it's a huge difference if you block it out with your hand. I personally think it just shines much better.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice image.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I love the expression on her face. This is good. And there you are in her sunglasses, right? That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's the Easter egg, as Joe says. You always got to look for the photographer in the reflection because you can almost always find them. And
Is this the same lady that
No.
No. All right.
yeah, it's just,
So this is basically straight out of camera, just little adjusting with the exposure and
okay, 50/50. Yeah.
export to JPEG.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, extremely beautiful. I mean, everything is
Yeah.
perfect in the picture, anyways.
Yeah, and she's got a great look on her face. The
Exactly.
color of her glasses is great. I mean that pink purple, whatever you call it.
Mhm.
The texture, the curl in her hair, and then she's got kind of complementary
Yep.
texture in the
Green
stars.
to orange kind of hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's very nice. And then the nifty 50. There it goes. Blurs
Yep.
out the background. Just enough. Yeah. Very nice.
Thank you.
Like we got a concert or a
Color Run.
color run? Okay.
Yep. So this was with 5150
Okay.
at 150.
Okay. All right.
2.8. It was a very bright day. So
Wow,
320.
Wow, 3200th of a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
150 f2.8. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
There was
know
a
this
huge crowd. I was standing on the sidewalk, grabbing to a pole, kind of leaning towards the middle of the street,
Okay.
and trying to get the most of the crowd. And then there was this drone, they were shouting at the drone,
Okay.
staying by, and then I took the shot.
Okay.
I did a little cropping though. There was a little much on the top, too much on the top,
Okay.
so I cropped that a little bit.
Well, you gave a nice little panoramic
Hmm.
crop to it, and the focus is right here. Yeah. Pretty. That's neat. Very colorful. Obviously. I mean, that's a great. Have you guys seen Thomas Hawk? He posts all those images. He has a lot of images of the color run. From I don't know where it is, maybe Oakland or the San Francisco or Oakland version of it. And the amount of color, yeah, just amazing.
Do you guys know there was a huge controversy on the color run pictures and?
No, was there?
No,
As far as
There's this student, I'm not really sure, and he had taken some pictures for Color Run, and Color Run asked him to use the pictures. He told them that yes, you can use them on Facebook, and then they started using them somewhere else, and then this guy was like he wanted to get paid for that work. And then he took some he sent some serious threatening emails, and then he went to social media and he said that Color Run people are exploiting me and things like that, and it became a huge public relation disaster for Color Run. But eventually the guy was that I wouldn't fault, but he was being a little too aggressive for no reasons, because the Color Run guy was willing to pay him, and he was asking for too much, $30,000 or something.
maybe 300. I just
No, he got paid somewhat like that. He got paid as well. Not just that he asked for it, he almost got paid for it. So
That's ridiculous.
plus his language was very rude, and he had gone to social media without even waiting for the reply, and he was very aggressive about the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that, he probably set himself up for that.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand, your images being used without your permission, but you got to give the party that's using them an opportunity to respond before you just go off the deep end and start doing stuff. I mean, if they come back and say, go to hell, we don't care, then you can launch into something. But, if you find an image that's being used without your permission, then you let them know, and then they get back to you, then that's all that you can hope for. You don't need to go on a rant before you've heard back. Yeah.
He really shot himself in the foot with all that, though, because if anybody Googles him, and if he's trying to get a job as a photographer, nobody's going to want to hire him when they see all of that.
Who was it? What was the guy?
That's true, and that'll follow him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the interesting part. He was working as a part-time photographer, and his target or his ambition is to become a politician. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he did his part. There are two sides to the story. He reached social media as a victim. Petapixel, all these places where photographers are very sensitive. So he reached there as a victim without waiting for a reply from social media. And the guy who conducts Color Run, he was like, everyone, started, we are very sensitive about copyright things and not getting paid part, because all of us have experienced it at some part of our life, that we were either not paid or our images were stolen or both, right? So photographers are really sensitive. So what he did was he reached out to people saying that, okay, these people are so terrible and doing all these things to me. And then all the photographers started bashing. I don't remember either of these people's name. So, like, oh, you're a son of, you're a prick and you're, whatever, everything. Internet is very kind when it comes to words. Even I am. I'm not an exception. I also write very kind words. And then this guy was like reached this guy, Jared Pollan, and he came on his podcast and he explained his point. Then this guy who conducts Color Run, let's call him Honor of Color Run. So, whatever. So this guy came and he said that you should at least let me explain my side of the story. Give me at least one chance. But we are so much, anti-corporation that we really, it's really difficult for us to believe that corporation might be on the right side and single photographer might be a little too aggressive and jerk, if I politically correct you.
Yeah.
He was a jerk. That was the reality of the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, he went sounds like he went off the deep end way too quickly. He probably hurt himself much more than he would have helped himself in the long run.
If you would hear his demands, they were really ridiculous. That was the part. Like he wanted to continue working and then get paid. And anyways, let's move on to the next image. Beautiful image.
Yeah, this is a fantastic shot. Really, I really love this. The texture, the colors. This is a really old house. It's probably under renovation, I think, though, right?
No.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful.
Looks very beautiful, very old, and the entrance is awesome. But yeah, it's just decaying. So.
Yeah, and you have it HDR. So was it three images?
Three exposures.
Okay. And what do you use for HDR software?
Just Photoshop.
Okay, just merge into Photoshop. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's just a great.
I would love to own a house like that. Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Take a.
Just get it renewed and renovate.
The money to get it fixed up. Yeah, I mean, it's a neat. The entrance, like you said, really is really cool. But yeah, that's it's probably one of those things that's more beautiful now that it's run down than it would be.
Yeah.
It would be if it was completely restored.
Yeah, just make sure that it doesn't fall. Like it doesn't break into pieces.
Yeah.
And leave it like that. Leave the exterior like that. Oh no, that's a little extreme for.
Yeah.
Just get a little renewed.
So you just took the 3 images, dumped them into Photoshop, and did the merge to HDR feature in Photoshop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because the colors were just how they are, and I did the HDR because of the shadows, to keep those, and the detail on the shadow, the highlights
stuff
a little
down
bit.
there to come out.
Yeah, the detail on the moss, on the wall. But editing-wise, there's not a lot done to it.
Okay, you just merged it, and there you go.
Yep.
And you shoot JPEGs, right, for this thing?
I use RAW and then export to JPEG.
Okay. Okay, without changing anything.
Yep.
Okay.
RAW, dumped it into Photoshop, did the merged HDR, and then you exported it as a JPEG. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, it's got just a lot of colors in there. And the stuff in the windows here, like this.
Yeah, the green.
Yeah, the green in the windows. I just noticed that. This texture and the rust on the metal, I guess, on the front of the dormer at the top. The roof's popping out. Yeah.
So whoever got this building made must have spent a lot of thoughts and money and interest on getting it Done. Beautiful
Mhm.
building.
Yep. Now, if you wanted to, if you just wanted to totally go crazy, maybe in Photoshop, I don't know, but you could crop this out here and just focus in on the house and get rid of this, the wire there.
Hmm.
That'd be a
Yeah.
great large print. You could do like a 20 by 30 of that. Put that somewhere because the colors are great, the textures are nice.
Yeah.
I love the crossing of the
stairwell.
the stairwell. Yeah, the railing.
Because that's another entrance there.
Okay.
That goes another 2-3 meters stairs.
Okay.
So that first wall you see there, where you
Mhm.
have your mouse,
Mhm.
that one, that's about 5 meters high.
Okay.
So that's the first entrance, and then you get to the
Yeah.
actual house.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder you could crop a little bit and then just get rid of this over here and maybe replace it with sky even
Mm-hmm.
or
Mask it up.
something, and
Yeah,
just
probably.
kind of isolate the house and the railing,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I think that would be really, really, really cool.
I'd like to see it look at night, light painted, maybe. I think that
Yeah.
would be cool.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great use of HDR there.
Thank you.
You're just bringing out what's there naturally. You're not
Yeah, I'm not.
over the top or doing anything crazy with it.
That's one thing I've not done. I would definitely want to do that. HDR.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different ways. I've been looking at how to. I've done HDR and I try to keep it as quote unquote natural as I can. And now with Photoshop, there's a lot people that are using just natural blending using luminosity masks
Mm-hmm.
to get things, and that just looks like a great technique to use.
Okay.
Although it's completely foreign to me because I've never done it before, so I'm going to have to investigate that. But it looks like a really great way to blend images without getting any of the crazy stuff you get with HDR sometimes.
Mhm.
I would want to search it too.
Yeah, I think that would. So I've been investigating some tutorials and people that got like preset actions to do, set the luminosity masks and that type of thing. And it looks really interesting. But very, very nice shot. I like that.
Thank you.
And here we go. This is Nikki.
Yep.
There's Nikki. All right.
And Joe says that she's like a lady with a lot of tantrums and all, but I have to say she is extremely beautiful and she does an awesome job.
Yes. No, it's a great shot. She is beautiful and she's got yeah, just very nice. And once again, black and white, kind of that same treatment as he gives a lot of the portraits black and white. Very good separation between the foreground and the background.
I would just darken a little bit the back part, maybe.
Back here.
Yeah, and on the right too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But then, yeah, it
On the left,
use a,
I mean. On the left.
it could use a kicker.
yeah.
And her hand. For me, the thing that just bugs me to no end about this is the way her hand is spread out.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's not
That
beautiful.
is no. Joe, don't ever do that. I mean, I like his work and all.
Yeah.
I don't,
But that-
maybe
wow,
it's to
no.
show off the ring. I don't know. Yeah, but it does look
It's not attractive at all.
looks a little forced. Yeah. But yeah, she's a beautiful woman. So you just kind of have that.
Yeah.
hand
I wasn't
rest-
looking at the
rest on
hand
it.
for a long time. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very nice. But yeah, I see what you say, Frank. That is, she's got it kind of
It looks very stretched and
extended,
tense,
and yeah,
relaxed.
it turned into like you could swap my hand for hers, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and her fingers almost look like they're bent back a little bit, which is
Yeah,
not
you can
comfortable.
see that. Yeah, you can kind of see the tendons.
Yeah.
And stuff
Yeah.
in
duck feet kind of hands.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Always want to go elegant with them, with the hands.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the black and white texture though,
Mhm.
treatment rather.
No, he does a really good job of the black and white, and it's pretty consistent across all of his images too. So he's got a good, and it's recognizable,
Mhm.
which is important. And here's Liz, I think is her name, right? If I remember. Yes. And this is color, black and white, and she's got just eyes are really,
Yeah.
really amazing eyes. The shape of the eyes, there's something about them that is just very, very different. And she's looks like maybe she's a little older, maybe 30s, something like that. I mean, she just looks a little more mature, and she's got it's a nice look. Got the hair, maybe that's one thing I noticed right there. This little bit of hair on her shoulder. But
I think the scientific term is MILF.
okay, yeah, you would be correct.
That's the quote of the day.
Yeah, well, that's what the episode's going to be named. Episode 71, MILF.
Okay, no.
Yeah, it's nice. I would. This is the only thing just get rid of that little bit of hair over her shoulder there.
I wouldn't have cropped their forehead on the right, on top right.
Over here, yeah.
No, on the right part above
Oh,
her
okay.
eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little wider, not to crop her forehead.
Okay. Yeah. A little
You
more.
get a tall forehead, so maybe you have a different hairstyle would be better for.
Yeah. Get the hair. Hair is pulled back pretty far. Yeah.
That's probably why he cropped the top of that off like that
Yeah.
too.
I'm talking about the side, because she's cropped right here.
Oh. Okay. Over here. Right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this.
Good Lord.
I see what you're saying. I couldn't see the edge.
Oh
of the,
yeah. Okay.
Red
Yeah.
line.
The shape of the head just kind of gets cut off right there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying. Maybe another little bit more right
Just
here.
a little. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The curve of her forehead just kind of stops and it goes vertical, then it continues on. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure that's crop, so he could probably adjust that crop a little bit. Be good to
One of
go.
the things that I like what he's doing here is if you take a look at her dominant eye, which is her right eye,
Yeah.
it's darn near centered horizontally in the frame,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives the illusion that no matter where you go, left or right of the image, it looks like she's following you. It looks like her gaze is following you. And that's because the eye is placed dead center like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. You can't get away from her.
makes the eye
She's
more
always
impactful.
looking at you. Well, but that's good though, because if you view it at different angles, it always looks like she's looking right at you. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an old trick that master painters used to use.
Yeah. Very good. Nice image. We got summertime in Florida. Super vivid colors.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
This is a stunning image. I simply love it.
Yeah. The colors are super vibrant. Is this an HDR or is it a single shot?
No, just a single shot and just boosted up the color quite a bit,
Okay.
vibrance and saturation.
Okay.
Very nice, not overdone. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah.
Natural. Still looks natural.
The colors are great. Yeah, it's very nice. I like the brick going in along here. Is that maybe a little bit of glare there? That might be That little
Yeah,
button
it's
there.
probably it. I'm almost shooting right into the sun there. So.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you're getting some lens flare or something there.
Hmm.
But, yeah,
Because you see a very good rim light around these three people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I liked the sun was coming right at them.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice shadows.
I was just taking pictures of the flowers, and then I thought that was kind of neat. So I turned the camera and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the path is looking like a good leading line,
Mhm.
and then three people, and that's really nice. I mean,
Yeah.
and
It's got
somehow
the magic number of 3. You know, that's what they say. You don't want 1 or 2. 3 is always good. It's just,
yeah, 3 is always good.
Yeah. Set up a pattern and enough to. That's very nice. Yeah. The colors are fantastic. Very nice shot.
Thank you.
That brick, for me, the brick really makes a good separation between the plants and all
Yeah.
the color and the people,
Hmm.
which is nice.
A little bit of blue in the sky would be good, though. On the right top, on
Over
the
here,
left top.
yeah,
That's the sun, I guess.
yeah, probably is.
bit overblown.
Yeah,
But on the top left, maybe a little blue would give another something.
up over here, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I could try to paint it some maybe and get some.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Put a layer and transparent layer and just paint some blue color on that portion.
See what happens.
And then blur it, and what do? We blur it, Gaussian blur, and the other thing we do is, such a brain fart. Okay.
I don't have
Gaussian
Photoshop
blur.
yet, so it would have to be in Lightroom.
Yeah,
I think this is a good example of when an actual graduated density filter, not digital, but actual physical graduated
Yeah.
density filter would help quite a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
would have
Like
brought out-
probably at least a break up.
almost the top third. Yeah, almost the top third of the image.
Mhm.
Would have brought out the skies a little more.
Yeah, probably you drop the highlights, right?
Definitely. Now, if you were to do this in Lightroom, and let's say, for example, the highlights in the upper right corner were within range of bringing it down.
Hmm.
The problem doing that is then all of a sudden the top of all the foliage goes dark.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Lightroom, then you can just use the slider for your shadows. So when you click on the icon for your graduated filter, you draw down, you darken things up. The green goes dark as well. But then all you need to do is move the sliders for your shadows, and then your shadow areas pop back up again. So you don't have that darkening of the top of the trees anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Just adjust the shadows up a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
That's a good trick.
Yeah. Apply the filter, then adjust the shadows to.
Right. And in the first shot that we looked at with the trees and how you darken the top of the sky, that probably still would have worked if you just used a graduated density filter in Lightroom, darkened the whole top down, and then brought up the shadow areas with the slider. That would have brought up the tree back up, and then you probably would have gotten rid of the funky stuff that was going on with the leaves, as far as the color is concerned.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Tip of the day. Frank's tip of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing, and I'm finding with trying to dig into Photoshop a little bit, you can do so many things, but there's like 50 different ways to do the same thing, depending on the approach,
Yeah.
which is, for me, is just really confusing. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
In the beginning, it's quite confusing.
Yeah, and I just need to work with it. That's basically it. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joel.
Welcome from Phoenix.
Hello.
Hey, here we go.
Hi, Joe.
Maybe. There he is. You there, Joe? Hello. Hello, Joe. Earth to Joe.
Oh, I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Oh, there we
Do you
go.
copy?
Yeah, we're good. Yep. Welcome.
Yeah. I thought it started right now, and I guess it started an hour ago.
Yeah. That's okay. We're still going. Going, and glad you could join in. We're just learning how to apply neutral density filters and shadow readjustment, I guess is the. Let's go on to the next one here and see. Okay, here's another. Is this basically the same spot, just a close-up of the flowers? Okay.
Bush that was in the right on the left on the last picture that's standing behind it.
Okay, this one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You can see the palm trees again there and stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking. The road is over here. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was shot with EOS M.
My EOS M. It's the Canon's mirrorless camera that failed that I bought for $200, $250.
But the bokeh is amazing. This beautiful bokeh in the background.
Yeah, it's the kit lens it came with is really nice. I'm really impressed with it.
All right, I've been doing some research on this thing, and what I've come to, what I've learned is that 5.6 is probably the most user-friendly aperture to keep a decent amount of depth of field, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And 5.6 is, very safe. You can have entire body in focus.
Mm-hmm.
Not focus, in sharp focus, yeah. And so even if you're shooting an object, 5.6 is instead of going like below 5.6, try to improve lighting if you can. And that way you'll get like really crisp images, and because it's the mid-range of aperture, so most of the lenses perform extremely well at that because it's only the center part of the glass being used, you know, because of the aperture. So you get lights only coming from the center part of the elements. So you get like really crisp images because of that. So 5.6 or even 8, something between these two, is the best image if you want the best results.
That's the sweet spot for most lenses. Yeah. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, this is another one where this is a little distracting over here. It's just so much sun.
Yeah.
But I love the nice focus there. The palm trees in the background, nicely blurred. Yeah, if you could tone that down a little bit, that would really make the shot. It's nice. I love the colors, the lighting.
I think if you went into Lightroom, it has the hue, saturation, and luminosity panel.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a little bullseye icon. If you click on that, and then you click on any one of the colors within the frame, let's say, for example, you were choosing saturate or luminosity. You could click on one of the yellow flowers, for example, and as you click and drag your mouse, the luminosity of that color and that color throughout the entire image would raise or lower in luminosity. And of course, if you choose saturation or hue, it would adjust either that as well by clicking on that specific color.
Oh, okay.
And if you did if I think on that, on this particular image, you could really make all those yellow flowers just pop. By going in there and clicking on the luminosity, and then just raising the luminosity just a little bit, so you have more contrast between the yellow flowers in the background.
Mm-hmm. So
They
just
just pop it.
This little yellow bit here, and then use that as the reference.
I've done that to adjust colors before, but I've never done that for any of the other stuff. So.
Yeah, it has that icon, that little bullseye icon, where you can then click and make adjustments, and that works for your highlights, your shadow, it works for hue, saturation, luminosity, and if you're changing things to black and white, you've got all your different colors, red, magenta, cyan, and so forth, and then you could also raise and lower the saturation or the brightness value of those particular colors within the scene as well when you're converting from color to black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've got to play around with that a little bit. It's
been using it a year and I'm still learning.
Yeah, I've had it for 2 years, and Lightroom does so much, and then Photoshop just does so much more. on top of it. It's
I
just
use
amazing.
Photoshop mainly for doing critical masking, but for general editing, Lightroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with everybody, we tend to just learn what we need to.
Yeah. Yep.
We have a certain desire to do a certain task or a certain look, and then we find out how to do that, and if that's all we need to know, that's all we'll ever learn.
Yep.
Because there's so much to learn in Photoshop.
Yeah. And like I said, there's so many different ways to do things. You want to do something, you can do it 10 different ways in Photoshop. So you just got to find the way that works best for you.
Oh, sure.
And then
I can think of at least 4 different ways of opening up a file in Photoshop.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Information overload. That's for sure.
The confusing part happens like, for example, you are treating a skin, right? You are editing a portrait, and you want to get rid of scars and want good skin. The confusing part is, with the beginners at least, is that you want the best one, and you don't know which one is the best one, because when you search on YouTube, there will be 5 people explaining the same thing in totally different ways, and you want the best one, and you don't know which one would be the best one. So that's the confusing part.
Well, the thing is that the best one is the best one for that specific image.
Exactly.
But the same person with the same wrinkles that you're trying to remove in a different lighting situation, that same technique may not be the best one to use.
Might not be the best one. Exactly.
Yeah. True. Yep, that is true. That's what's good and bad about it.
Well, it's bad in the sense that there's just a lot of things to learn.
Yeah, there's just so much.
But once you get over that hill,
yeah, it's just a matter of using it, getting familiar with it.
That's why it's not just about clicking on buttons, There is an artistic part to it, our own contribution to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
This image I just uploaded like half an hour ago, maybe, well, an hour ago at this point, but it's one of the ones from Chicago, from the Roll Accord. And just a street corner, street performance in the city near the Wrigley Building. So the Wrigley Building's over here on this side. The river's right there. This is one of the structures for the bridge. So it's got an interesting sculpture on it. And these guys popped up to do a show, a little magic show. And I thought this guy here in the silver suit, I thought he was going to work with this guy directly, so I kind of set up for both of them to start going. And then as soon as this guy started talking, this guy went back here, and he's got a cigarette in his hand back here. So he just like went back and leaned up against the thing and smoked the last little bit of a cigarette. And I wanted to get him in the image, so I had to move around a little bit. And then these people popped in over here in the corner. And there were people over here on the right. So my well-planned scene just fell apart before my eyes. I had to recompose.
That's the way that goes, right?
Yeah, that's the unpredictability of people, and so it was a fun shot, but it didn't end up being what I thought it would be before 30 seconds before I pressed the shutter button on it. But
it doesn't have any grain. It's very was it 100 ISO? Okay.
It's 100 ISO, yeah. In a bright day, so it was very. I have to check, and probably the exposure was. I think I had this at f8, so it might have been like a 250th of a second or something like that. I mean, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, the sun was really, really bright that day.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, you couldn't have done that with a digital camera, that's for sure.
Nope.
That would have blown all that out right there. I mean, that's the magic of film.
Yeah, and that's why I thought it would be a very good shot. I just wish these people weren't here. This guy was cool. I really liked this guy, but he wasn't. I thought they were going to perform together. So I set up. They were setting things up together, and as soon as the guy got his table set up, the guy in the silver suit went back here and just hung out.
It was probably that statue kind of performer.
Uh-huh. That's like the same guy that was in Tim's image from a few weeks ago. He had the picture of the levitating man. I think it's this guy. He just came to Chicago for a few weeks.
You know, there was this. There's a famous photographer, again, bad with names, and he took a picture in India, fine, and he kind of zoomed into the image, and he thought that the guy, I mean, there was another photographer taking a picture, and he thought that, I recognize this guy. So and that guy is another very famous photographer. So he contacted him saying like, I think you are in one of my frames, and were you in India at that particular time? And he was like, yes, I was.
Oh, wow.
And then he started looking for the images, and he posted the shot that he was taking at the time this photographer took his image. So, you know, so that was really I think they got to know it after like 2 years or something.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It could have been Steve McCurry.
Horrible at names. I'm so sorry.
Steve McCurry.
Just...
He did the shot. He is a National Geographic photographer. He did the shot with the Afghan girl, but he's done an extended amount of work in India.
Oh yeah. He shot the last Kodachrome film as well.
Yeah.
Might be. No.
You know, I think I look at this image and I want the contrast to be a little bit snappier.
Okay.
But I like the image. I like the moment that you captured, the interaction between the street performer and the people. And that, you're right, that the guy in the background, he's got quite a lot of character.
Yeah. I love, if you zoom in, you can't really, but his can says, "Yes, you can take photos with me, but tips are appreciated." Got there.
Of course.
But
Tip me 6.
yeah, but it was interesting because I wanted to get this sculpture in the scene as well, and I was moved over a little bit more to the left when they were both there, and then he walked back that way, so I had to move over to the right, and then these people popped in, and I couldn't crop out all of them without losing this guy. So it's but yeah, I see what you say. I think I could probably change the contrast a little bit. I'll have to see what I can do on that. This was almost blown out up here, the sky. I had to reduce the highlights a little bit to get some clouds up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I played around with the contrast or not, but I can.
Did you shoot the entire roll with this type of lighting?
Pretty well. No.
Okay.
About half the roll was this day, and the other half was the next day. So
I was going to say if you did, then I would. There was a possibility to lower the highlight value just by lowering your development time by about 20%. That would have knocked down the highlights by stock.
Yeah, this was 2 different days. First half was one day, the second half was the next day or the day after. It was weird, but I'll play around with the contrast a little bit and get a little bit more in there. But
we're really lucky that we don't have to deal with that dodging and burning, analog dodging and burning. We do it on computers just by clicking.
Yeah.
And remember, like I was telling that photographer, that the other large format photographer, he says there's so much to be done after taking the picture that you don't develop your prints. You're not real photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much, Yeah.
Yeah, there is, and we have it a lot easier now than they used to back in the day.
Oh
but
yeah.
We also have it a lot harder because we have so many more options. I think, I mean, just generally any image we can do almost anything with it now. Whereas, I guess technically you could have back in the day, but it's a lot easier. So it's almost kind of that same thing. There's so much you can do to it. You could just spend forever re-editing the same image and trying different things on it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The learning curve is definitely shorter for taking the image that you want, the way you want, capturing that image, that is. But as far as the art of developing that image, it's just as hard as it ever was in the darkroom. I mean, you look at some of these tools and how complicated they can be to use once you start hitting the pro level, man. Photoshop alone, man, some people have to go to college and take a class, and they still don't know jack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Photoshop is alone is just, you open it up, you look at it, and you close it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know what? F it, man, I'm freaking done. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so intimidating versus, you know, all the stuff that you do in the dark room. It can be, it's an art in and of itself. I mean, it's also Photoshop, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite as intimidating. You know what I'm saying? As some of the things do now. You know what I'm saying? Just digital age intimidates some people. You know what I'm saying? The minute you have to put it on the computer, they're like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, when you have something hands-on, okay, I mix this much chemical here and this much. Not too many people intimidated by that per se. You know, per se. I mean.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you don't need to be technically inclined to fill up a container and shake it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it is.
Yeah.
It's
My grandma would
easier.
do that.
Yeah. It's easier, but to get different results, it becomes a lot more complicated, you know, than just the basic end, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at the,
I love digital. I would never want to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never used the darkroom, so I have no idea. I've only used Lightroom.
Well, I gotta say, I've heard it 1,000 times. There's something magical about putting a paper print in the developer tray and seeing that image just come up, and I completely agree. You know, it's really, really cool. And if there was a way you could just somehow expose a piece of paper, run it through your inkjet printer, and then stick it in a tray and watch it pop up, then that would be a cool product. I'd get that in a heartbeat just for that experience.
To me, the same experience is just printing that image, period. I mean, you do it on the computer, okay, and you still have no living idea how it's going to turn out, right? You're just like, okay, it looks this way on my monitor. I calibrated my monitor, but do I necessarily have the right printing profile, and do I have it set up right? You know, so when it comes out of the printer, you're like, and to me, it's still the same experience. I still get that, like, magical experience just printing in general. And a lot of people, when they see the big prints that I have, are just still like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Because even less people see prints these days.
Yeah, you're right.
I agree. I'm going to get my pictures printed.
What was that?
I'll definitely get my pictures printed.
Oh yeah, it's just there is still something magical about seeing it printed. It really is. I mean, and you know what I like about it is once you do print it, no matter how you choose to print it, because there's millions of different ways. No matter what I like about it is the beauty of printing on paper. And you have different papers and different inks, and good Lord, we could go down that rabbit hole, right? But once it's printed and on the wall, everybody sees it the same way. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like at that point, everybody sees it the same way. You can look at it sideways, it's the same, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay, I got to worry about sending this image to somebody, and how is their monitor? How is it calibrated? What are they seeing? Versus, you know, people come to a gallery, let's say, or to your home, and they see the print. That's it. I mean, that's the print. You know, it is what it is. Like you don't have to worry about how they're seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that that is a great spot to end the show. That is actually it. I printed out a few of my images, but I need to print out a lot more, and I think that's going to be my project for the fall and winter, is to go back through and take a look at the images that I really enjoy, and then get them printed big. You know, the square images maybe like at least 12 by 12. I've got a couple that are 20 by 20 that I've got in my office, and when people come in and look at it, they're like, "Wow, you took that!" So there's definitely an impact that having a print makes that you can't get from looking at it on a monitor. So.
Right. It can't be. Well, you know, I surrounded myself with my work. I mean, it's not happening right now, but
Yeah.
and I actually miss that, like, feedback. You know, that like that impact that it has. You know, people walk in and they're just like, "This is your work." You know what I'm saying? It just has this boom. You know.
Yeah.
Makes a difference. Yeah. That's much.
Yeah. Whereas with a digital file, you have to ask, "Hey, have you seen my work?" and then show them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Physical.
Completely different.
Physical print has a lot more impact in almost every case, I think.
And how much does that go for you?
We've
12 by 12.
gotten used to see, digital prints.
Mm-hmm.
Our eyes have gotten used to see them so often that we just don't give them any importance. I mean, maybe any is a little strong word, but close to nothing. I mean, importance of a digital print for us is close to nothing.
Yeah, because you see so many of them every day.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Flickr full of them. And just take one image of something, even if it's not the best photograph, you would still have that, special feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, I know Mark's trying to end the show, but when you think about it, people are making money nowadays off their Instagram account printing those images. People are ordering people's Instagram images. Come on, man. That's how powerful that is. You know what I'm saying? They'll order a little 4x6 of someone's Instagram image.
Yeah.
Come on, you like that?
$3.99 or $3.99 for the image, and yeah.
You know, it's like, because it's pretty cool to actually hold an image still, to hold the paper image. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah. You were asking, Rui, about how much it costs to get prints. If I use Costco here, Warehouse Club Photo Lab, I can get a 20 by 30 printed for $10.
Wow.
Pretty affordable. $10 to $12.
It was cheaper than that. For me, it was $8.99.
Yeah, that might, and so yeah, very, very, very affordable. The only thing, have they done this? I don't know if you know in Phoenix, but I know here locally they shut down the actual photo lab. Now they just have a kiosk where you have to submit your images. You know, you bring them a card or whatever, then they must have centralized the printing to one location, and then they'll ship from there. So they don't have in-store labs anymore, at least here locally.
Wow. So I haven't been in one yet in Phoenix.
I'd be surprised.
Things are a little more advanced,
An actual lab. Yeah.
I know when I left Albuquerque, I used to talk. I'm a pretty friendly guy, right? In other words, so I used to know the girls that worked in both of the Costco's that I went to, and I know they were saying that they were trying to get it to where they would make bigger prints because those printers that they had could easily handle huge prints, and they were only doing 20 by 30s. And I was like, good grief, man, why don't you guys? I mean, they weren't even using half the printer for 20 by 30. I mean, they were massive printers. So, like, why don't you guys just, make these? I would imagine they could have handled a 54-inch print easily. Huge.
Each Costco is different, and you can download profiles for your specific Costco.
Yep, and that's what I did. I had the print profiles for the Costco that I went to, but now they closed that down just in the last couple months. So I've got to find out I haven't gone online to order directly, but I'm sure you can probably get the profiles from that as well.
Right.
Which is
Another really
key.
good company to use is Bay Photo.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Santa Cruz, on this side of the country, on the West Coast, and Smug Mug uses them extensively.
Yeah.
They're quite a good lab.
Yeah.
They're not cheap like Costco. Like the 20 by 30s, and they're only about $40.
Yeah. I use I have a portfolio site through Zenfolio, and they have an agreement with MPix.
Oh yeah, I heard they're good as well.
Yeah, and they have two levels. They have the regular, and then they have the Pro, which is where they don't do any color correction. So if you submit them the right file, calibrated, they'll print it out exactly as you intend it to print. So they're not doing any in-lab color correction. So if you do a good job of calibrating your monitor and send it to the right profile, the customer should get the same quality print that you expect from a color side of things. So,
right.
But yeah, the cost is $30 to $40 for a 20 by 30.
What kind of paper, by the way?
Most of them use Fuji E-Chrome papers, I think.
The regular print paper?
I think so.
I like
You can choose different papers. You can get black and white printed on the black and white paper exclusively.
Okay.
And then you've got a couple different levels of color paper. You've got a regular one. I think they have an archival quality that's a little different.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
a lot thicker. Costco probably uses the regular toaster paper, which is really, really thin and flimsy.
It is, yeah. You
Well,
want
then
to
on
get it in
that
a
part,
frame pretty quickly.
I can get it cheaper. Finally!
Yeah, finally you get something cheaper.
Yeah. I can get a 20 by 30 for like $3.50 for
Okay.
you. So 2 years for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cheap.
That's very
And,
cheap.
yeah, and they get some aluminum printing for the $40.
Okay. For a metallic print?
Medium
Okay.
for 40. Nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
Just
That
for
might
cheap.
be the subject for a whole show. Is talk about printing options.
Yeah.
Because it's quite vast. So we'll have to do that like show 79 or 80. We'll just do printing.
Hey,
Options.
what was your reason for having this Sunday show, Mark?
Because my social director planned something last night.
Ah.
Yeah. So my wife said, "Remember, we're going out to dinner Saturday night." Oh, okay.
Ah. Yeah.
So,
There is that.
and that reminds me, there won't be a show next week. We're going to be running around for the Labor Day weekend, so it'll be 2 weeks. The next show will be 2 weeks from today. So whatever date that is that the 8th or whatever day that is? Saturday the 8th. So there won't be one next weekend. So whatever date next Saturday is, there won't be a show. So we'll do show number 72. Will be the week after Labor Day. So.
I was really excited about this show. I was really interested in joining this one because now I've hooked up my professional audio system to my computer. And initially I was using a crappy mic. Now this is like proper professional microphone system.
The audio is very good. So you are
very different.
You're set.
Yeah, now it's just the voice, really. It's like.
Very good.
Like actually, you know what? I actually got this is a new headset as well. How does this one sound anyway?
Horrible.
Crappy.
Yeah, your audio is very bad. I'm wondering.
You sound like you're coming from the moon, dude.
You haven't upgraded to the speedy Wi-Fi service at the hotel yet?
No, I haven't.
Is that a USB headset or 3.5?
They'll give you the same. They'll just charge you extra and they'll give you the same speed anyways.
Yeah, that's quite true. They'll charge you double and give you the same. You'll be like, oh, this is just as bad as the other one.
I know, yeah. It kind of seems like, like how does that work? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're supposed to,
Yeah.
They want to charge you like
probably,
$20 a month.
Your audio's been generally pretty good, so it must just be you've got a bunch of other people on the Wi-Fi streaming, so it's sucking up some more bandwidth, which is usually the problem you run into on hotel or wide area Wi-Fi. A bunch of people are using it, the bandwidth just gets sucked down to almost zero. So, okay, guys, I gotta go. I got some ribs on the Big Green Egg that are about ready to eat. So
Ooh, yeah.
get that done. Dinner. Raj is getting ready to eat breakfast here in a little bit. So,
Cake and eggs.
What do you eat for breakfast over there, brother?
All right, that depends on. Today maybe butter toast or something like that. But yeah, we have Indian food. Like the food that you call Indian food, we call that food here. So we have that.
Over here, it's just called food. I love that. That's funny.
So we have parathas. Parathas are like daily breakfast in North India, and omelette. Paratha with everything. Omelette, paratha with butter, paratha with jam, and then there are different types of parathas. Chicken paratha and keema paratha, and you're getting me hungry now.
You're
Right.
me hungry. I'm having liquid bread.
yes, Newcastle Brown, the classic. The classic. And I'm sure Rui just finished up a Super Bock a little earlier. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, Dan, thanks for joining in, everybody. Appreciate it. And 2 weeks from now, we'll have 2 weeks from Saturday, we'll have another show. So take lots of photos next week over the long weekend and post them to Flickr. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks. See
Bye.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.